Welcome back to the master class of DIRKOP Adler. Today I would like to talk about the class 272-640-642-01. This machine is a single needle lock stitch machine with a mechanical edge trimmer. I would like to explain a little bit what does it mean 272. 2 stands for double lock stitch sewing head. And the second 2 in the 272 stands for bottom feet with needle feet. And after the slash or after the dash, we have the 6. This 6 stands for mechanical edge trimmer. In addition, the machine is equipped with a normal small hook size. That means we are using bobbins in this size. Beside this, the DIRKOP Adler machine is equipped with the DAC Classic control. DAC means DIRKOP Adler control. That means it is our own control unit. The machine is equipped with the control panel OP1000. Beside this, we are offering on the machine an electronic thread trimmer in combination with the foot lift and an automatic backtacking. The maximum speed of the machine is 5,000 stitches per minute with a maximum stitch length of 4 mm. In general, the machine is used for light to medium weight fabrics. For the ones who are maybe new to this field, a double lock stitch, what does it mean? Double means two threads. So we have a needle thread and a bobbin thread on a double lock stitch machine. And the thread loop is normally based always in the middle of the material. So if you do see the loop on top or on the bottom of the material, that means the adjustment of the machine is not correct. So this is a double lock stitch machine. The special feature on this machine, I mentioned it, is the swiftable or a mechanical edge trimmer. What does it mean? We do have here a mechanical hand switch where we can switch in and out manually the edge trimmer whenever is needed. The cutting margin of the machines is available from 3.5 to 4, 5 or 8 millimeter cutting margin. This is always depending on the applications. So for example, if I have an application where I would like to stitch and cut the pocket bag, for example, in general we would take, for example, 5 millimeter cutting margin. So the stitching and the cutting edge has 5 millimeter. But there are other applications, like for example, attaching the waistband to the trouser. There we would need a larger cutting margin of maybe 8 millimeter. On the sewing head, the machine is equipped with quick access buttons. So these quick access buttons has 3 functions. The first function is the backtag removal. The second function would be needle up and down position. And the third button would be for manual backtacking. The machine is standard-wise also equipped with a thread nipper, which guarantees a neat seam beginning from the upper side, that means on the right side of material. So the thread nipper will always pull the thread to the bottom side of material. The machine is equipped with the DAC Classic control with the control panel OP1000. The DIRKOP Adler control system here allows a plug-and-play system with the machine identification technology. That means the machine ID will recognize and communicate with the control system, and we can easily change controls in case it is necessary. Hopefully not. Okay, good. Coming to special applications which would be possible on this machine. One of the applications, which is a traditional application on the machine, is, I mentioned it before, attaching the waistband to trouser to skirts. If we attach the waistband, we do have belt loops. This kind of belt loops, you could prepare endless on a machine, and then you add it simultaneously by stitching and cutting to the length required. Another application which would be possible on the machine and which is quite frequent operation here is stitching the breast dart in jackets. So the dart in jackets means I would have my jacket front part, and then I would stitch the dart from the bottom up to the peak, and in a certain area we would cut the dart simultaneously. One of the most interesting applications is the application of stitching the chest piece into the armhole of the jacket. So the special application here is we have a special device on the machine where we can deactivate the stitching in the front area, in the first section of the seam, where we do not need to stitch, but we need to cut. And we activate the stitching after certain centimeters, and we stitch and cut simultaneously for the rest of the seam. I will show and demonstrate this on the machine later. The right configuration of a machine you will see here. So, for example, the application of, for example, attaching the waistband to the trouser or attaching or stitching the dart on the jacket, you would take the machine class 272-640-642. And then we offer different sewing equipments, in this case, a seam margin up to 8 millimeter cutting margin. Special here also is that we also offer a suction device for fabric waste. Means we want to keep the table clean, and we take the waste, the cutted waste away, and we can properly work. The special application for the chest attaching is, as I said, in the beginning of the seam, we are disconnecting the stitch formation and we are only cutting. And we start with the stitch formation a little bit lower, and we finish the whole sleeve in one shot, and we do not need to or undo any stitches afterwards. The configuration of the machine is here, the sewing equipment for 5 millimeter cutting margin, and in combination with the special equipment, a part set for attaching and cutting chest pieces, where we can activate and deactivate stitch formations. That was the theoretical presentation, and now please come and follow me to the machine. So now I would like to show you the special features on the machine. So this is our class 272-640-642 with the mechanical driven edge trimmer. So we can manually switch in and out the edge trimmer, so I can work with and without edge trimmer on the machine. I would like to show you one typical operation which you could do on this machine is, for example, if you have attached the pocket facings on the pocket bag, then you have to close the pocket bags maybe with lock stitch, and you would like to have nice clean cutted edges. In this way, you would use the edge trimmer from the beginning. We would stitch and cut simultaneously. This noise which you can hear while I am stitching is the suction device for the cutted waste to keep the table clean, to have a nice proper area. So now we have a nice clean stitched pocket bag. Afterwards we would turn it, iron and top stitch it. Another operation which we could do is stitching a dart in the front jackets. So in this case we would start from the bottom. We would switch off the knife in the beginning to not damage any material. We would start stitching, and as soon as I'm reaching a centimeter of the seam, I will switch in my knife and I will stitch up to the peak of the dart. So again here I have cut off the fabric extension and I have a nice stitch dart which would look like this. So we have a cutting margin of 5 millimeter, and after a certain point, because we start stitching the peak, we are not cutting the material anymore, because here we have less than 5 millimeter stitching. So then your dart would be stitched. The third operation which I would like to show you is attaching the chest piece. There are different methods. Sometimes the chest piece is a little longer, sometimes a little shorter. This is the reduced version. So that means in case we are stitching the chest piece, we would like to cut the extension of the chest. We would like to stitch and cut till approximately here, and then we want to switch off the cut and the stitching and use only the cutting up to the end of the seam. Why I do not want to stitch this area? Because I afterwards have to close the shoulder seams, iron them out, and then I will attach the chest piece to the rest of the front part. So to avoid taking off the seams, because I don't have the possibility to switch off the stitching, I reduce with this system of machine, I reduce one operation of opening the upper part of the seam. I will show you. So I would stitch one time from the bottom to the top and one time top to the bottom, left and right side. And here I would start with cutting and stitching simultaneously. So that means I would start stitching, cutting to a certain point, approximately till here. So and from here on, I would like to cut only, but not to stitch. Therefore, I do have a knee switch and I am activating a blowing system which deactivates my stitch formation. So that means, in this case, I have stitched and cut it till this point, I have deactivated my stitching and I have cut it till the end to cut nice and precise the chest piece. Good, so I hope you like the presentation of this machine and for these special applications. If you would like to have further information, you will please go to our homepage. There we have product pages with further informations like product videos and further application ideas which you could use on this machine. Thank you very much for your attention and hope to see you on our next masterclass.